what if? We are going back in Hybern, and it is when Elain goes into the cauldron and comes out. And in that brief millisecond before Lucien says, "You are my mate," what if Rhys spots a connection first and he pulls a Maeve? A little ASMR for you guys. Hi, bookish besties. I have been on a Court of Thorn and Roses ACOTAR kick recently since Sarah J. Maas is, hopefully, I'm manifesting it, releasing a new book this year, or at least, God forbid, we get the title of her new book this year. I don't know. But if you guys missed one of my previous videos where I talk about Sarah J. Maas's upcoming projects, you'll know that there are 3 projects she's working on. One of them is ACOTAR 6, and she has the draft finished. So let's chat about what could happen in ACOTAR 6, specifically if it's a centered story around Elain. Spoiler warnings for all of A Court of Thorn and Roses and for Throne of Glass. Yes, I'm going to tie it back to that series too, so you have been warned if you have not finished all of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorn and Roses series and her Throne of Glass series as well. So there's no point in beating around the bush. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't like Elain. She is my least favorite of the Archeron sisters, and maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. Tell me in the comments below. But she's pointless. Her entire point this far has truly been she's pretty and she likes to plant flowers. That's it. That's really it. She's done a couple things, maybe to the narrative, but really she's just gotten in the way. She's been upset about her fiance that's human that doesn't love her anymore because she's Fae. And she gets depressy, valid, and she gets kidnapped by Hybern. Elain, everyone. And maybe it's just because we haven't gotten her POV yet. And I will say, I wasn't the biggest Nesta fan until we got Silver Flames and I started to see the world through Nesta's eyes. And as I got to understand that character more, I understood her motives more, and I actually liked her more. So I'm hoping that happens with Elain. But right now, all I see is the middle sister who acts like the youngest sister in the fact that she can't do anything. She's just the beauty. And she was planting flowers instead of planting vegetables, you know, for her starving family. And some veggies and herbs are beautiful in a garden. So explain to me. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. I'm hoping, Sarah, she's a complex character. And in the end, they've set it up really well where there's almost this love triangle happening between Elain and Azriel and Lucien. But right now, I'm kind of hoping Elain chooses herself. It's not that I don't love Az and Lucien, but I have my reasons. So let's talk them out. People love her with Az, and I get it. The bad boy and the pretty girl, they have some chemistry, but I don't like the way that Azriel feels entitled to her. The way that's written feels very forced. It doesn't feel natural or genuine at all. It feels like he's entitled to her, and he said to Rhys, this is written by Sarah, that he feels like she's owed to him because his 3 brothers were promised to 2 sisters, so he deserves the 3rd sister. I'm sorry, that's gross. That's gross. Azzy baby, if that's the reason you want her, get out. The door's over there. Bye. And for Sarah, it would be such lazy writing if she did that. Where is that interesting in the story of the 3 sisters end up with the 3 brothers? Woohoo, where's the drama? Plus, there's a couple of other narrative-driven details in that Elain looks terrible in black. Terrible and miserable, that's noted. Sure, she becomes really good friends with the 2 spies, but it's still not really her. She needs sunlight and daylight in order to survive. Her favorite thing to do is to garden and to plant, and I'll get to both of those points here in a second, once I finish dogging on my guy Az. I am team Az and Gwen. I think that they have phenomenal chemistry. I love the arc of as saved Gwen from the raid, and that savior heroic complex, Gwen won't let any guy touch her except Azriel. That is swoon-worthy. That is the story I want to read. Okay, so I'm as in Gwen. Now, my baby Lucien. I am a Lucien stan. I've been a Lucien stan since day one. I'm reading ACOTAR and I'm like, why are you pining over that broody blonde when you have this hot, spicy redhead right next to you, girly pop? Team Lucien all the way. And I'm almost at the point right now where Elain doesn't deserve our boy Lucien, okay? He is way too good for her right now. Things could change. If I get a book in her POV, then maybe I'll start to see some reasons behind her thought processes. Maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, Lucien is the golden boy. He loves her so much, or at least he thinks he does because the mating bond, but he wants to take care of her. He's left the spring court for her, not for Feyre. It was for Elain. He wants that so badly, but she obviously is in a place where she can't reciprocate back. And I will say that we have yet to see a mating bond be rejected. Interesting. That could make for an interesting story. But I love Lucien. I love Lucien. But a different point on Lucien. So maybe she does choose him. Maybe she does get that redemption arc and she does become worthy of Lucien. I can see a clear path to where Lucien comes to realization that Helion is his father. Very similar to Gavril in Throne of Glass. And I told you there'd be spoilers. Because I think right about when Lucien and Helion will come together as father and son, Helion will have some tragic sacrificial death accident, and Lucien will inherit the powers of High Lord of Day. Remember when I said that Elain needs daylight and sunlight to survive? She's now the High Lady of the Day Court. And I think that works really well with Elain. She loves to garden and flower, but she needs the daylight and the sunlight to survive. Like, that is a line in Court of Rings and Ruin. And who is Lucien, if not the inheritor of the powers of day? Helion also he's the spell cleaver, so he can break through things. It also means he has a really powerful sight mind, which Elain is a seer. So I wonder that has anything to do with it. Maybe not. Maybe that's just my mind spiraling. But maybe Lucien steps into his powers of day court and Elain's not at his side because he chooses Vasa, the firebird. Fire, sun, day, it aligns. And it also kind of goes back to Lucien, how his true beloved was not a fae to his parents' standards. She's human, kind of his type. And being the son of day and fall, fire is really a combination of both those things. Autumn Court has the power of flame. Sun is made out of flame, so Vasa literally is a combination of both those courts. So that something could be there too. I'm just saying. But you ask, Ashley, if Lucien chooses Vasa, and this is Elain's book, well, what happens to Elain? I'm so glad you asked. So what if? We are going back in Hybern, and it is when Elain goes into the cauldron and comes out. And in that brief millisecond, before Lucien says, "You are my mate," what if Rhys spots connection first, and he pulls a Maeve? Throne of Glass people, are you with me? He pulls a Maeve because we know they are descendants. I say we don't know they're descendants. We assume they're descendants because they have a similar description and powers. Maeve's a Damani. They have the exact same abilities, which tells me that Rhys has the abilities to fake a mating bond the same way Maeve tricked Rowan. So, what if Elain comes out of the cauldron, it hits Rhys in the face of who her mate is, and in a very quick cover it up, he fakes a mating bond to Lucien to prevent her real mate from getting discovered, which is Tamlin. Okay, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 1, Tampon does deserve a redemption arc. I said it. I said it. I don't hate the blonde man. He's grieving. He's going through a lot. And Rhys went and kicked him while he was down. He was just loving Feyre the only way that he knew. And was it terrible and awful? Yes. Was she treated right? No. But that man just needs therapy, okay? Okay. What if Elain, the lover of all things beautiful, who loves flowers and her favorite thing to do is to garden, is the mate of the High Lord of Spring? That's a reason why Tamlin also felt so connected to Feyre, is because his mate was her sister. I'm telling you, it's right in itself. Sarah, write this down if you haven't already. And some more evidence that I have found in my research of this, because of course there are times when Lucien goes and like pulls on the bond and Elain does come. So there's some counter evidence that proves against this theory. But there is one that proves it. And it is a moment in Court of Wings and Ruin. There's a scene where we're in the House of Wind and Elain is sitting in her chair looking out the window, and she asks Lucien about being able to hear her heartbeat. And he's confused by this, like, no, I can't hear your heartbeat. And she's like, oh, well, I can hear yours through the stone. We could write that off as the stone of the walls, or whose heart do we know is made of stone? Tamlin's. Book 1, Tamlin's heart made of stone. That was the curse that Amarantha put on Tamlin, that he could never love because his heart was made of stone. So what if she was hearing Tamlin's heart? I'm just thinking. And for my final mic drop point, A Court of Thorn and Roses was always set up to be a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. Very obvious with the themes in book 1. But now, here we are, book 6. Tamlin stays in his beast form. He's so depressed and he's so heartbroken and just sad that he stays in his beast form. Elain is the beauty. She is the beauty sister, the pretty sister. That is how she described. What if we're getting an actual Beauty and the Beast with Elain and Tamlin, and it's going to resolve with them becoming the High Lord and the High Lady of Springport? I'm just saying. Am I crazy? I don't know. Maybe. I think I'm a genius, but I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this wacky idea with Elain. I'd love to hear more of your thoughts and theories about what ACOTAR 6 could be and what Elain's story is going to be. Who do you ship her with? I know I talked very much like romance heavy stuff, but do you have any other plot lines, ideas, powers that she's going to have? I still low-key think she might be a traitor. I don't know. She's still a little sus to me, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, you can now take off your tinfoil hats. We are done for Elain for now. Might have multiple parts coming up soon. More theories coming out as we get more details about ACOTAR 6 and more of Sarah J. Maas's books. If you want to do any more deep dives on different books or different theories, head to my channel, subscribe for more. I am always yapping, and I'm so thankful that you guys are here to yap along with me. You guys can follow me on other social media accounts at AsAshReadsIt. And yes, if you watch Glee, that's a Asu Sees It reference for all my cringy millennials out there, because I am a major Glee still to this day. But yes, please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for being here, bookish besties. And until I see y'all next, happy reading.